Well, hey everybody. So again, I'm late on the High School Musical episode review, but I figured I was starting to try to think. I had so much fun on the last live stream that I did. And so I was thinking, how can I incorporate more of those, do more of them on a weekly basis, blah, 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 blah. And since I'm already late on this episode and I have so many thoughts on it, I figured why not do an actual live stream about it, then film a video that's going to take me 30 minutes when I could be on stream for 30 minutes, edit it, and it won't be up till tomorrow. Figured, why not do it today? Also, want to give a big shout out to any of the dads. Happy Father's Day to you all, to your dads, all that kind of good stuff. So I guess, hello, Aiden. I'm going to try to say hi to you guys as I get in, but I do want to kind of do my overall review. Aiden, I hope you're having a great day. Alex, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Yes, happy Father's Day to everyone. Brooklyn is here. Hello, Brooklyn. Walt's got his ideas on the episode. So as you guys kind of come in, I'm just going to do how I normally would do a video. Also, let me know in the chat or in the comments if you think I should cut this up and have a firm video actually. I don't know if you guys follow Jack. Please do, by the way. He is 5 subscribers away from 700, which is so exciting. But I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to just leave this as a live stream and have the first 10, 15 minutes be about strictly High School Musical, the musical, the series, the episode. Also, if this gets annoying, please let me know because I just, some days you don't want to wear your contacts. But let me know if you want me to cut this up into a separate video. But for now, we'll just do it this way. So I have a ton of thoughts on the episode, as you may have imagined. I see some of you guys are putting your thoughts. Please, guys, I love hearing you guys tell me or seeing in the comments your wildcat of the week, your bop to the top moments, and your scream moments, and your overall rating. Makes me so excited to get to see that. So, okay, so I have a lot of things to talk about. This is partially why I want to do this, is I was like, this is going to be an unorganized video anyways, so let's just do a live and get to chat with some people and get, just chat about the episode since I'm already late because, I just for some reason can't be on time with these. I was actually planning on not even doing this one just because I was supposed to be kind of out of it. So this works out. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Wildcat of the Week. My Wildcat of the Week this week, I actually have 2, which is cheating a little bit. But since this episode was so good, I'm going to kind of break my rules. So first and foremost, I have Nini, which I think we probably also saw coming. And you guys were right. You guys, major props. I'm going to go back to all the comments when I get a chance and reply to all you guys. I was like, she's going to be the Enchantress. And you guys are like, no, she's going to be the Rose. You guys were correct. Tell me if I should make a video of all the times I've been incorrect or wrong about something on YouTube, because it's been a lot. It's been a lot of times my predictions have been wrong. So Nini is the Rose. She's been cast as the Rose. And I told a couple people I thought she's going to be the Enchantress because in her cardboard setup of what the Rose was that she held up when her and Ricky were there, she just seemed like she was going to be the Enchantress and not the Rose. You guys were correct though. But she was just really encouraging her friends this episode, and I really loved that. And then my other Wildcat of the Week is Courtney, because she had her moment with Howie, which I loved, by the way. And she really just kind of told everyone what was going on, did her own thing, was kind of the boss of all that. And I loved her this episode. Let's see, what else? Okay, so my bop to the top moments. There's a lot. The Rose song, obviously, I love it. And I guess I'll just say, off the bat, I thought the whole complexity with Nini and Ricky this episode, and even Gina to some extent, it just is so nuanced on what it is like to be in a relationship and navigate that in high school. And I think that's what surprised me so much about the show constantly, even though I know it's a great show, the writing is great, blah, 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 blah. The nuance of it all really surprises me sometimes. And I think it's hard, especially in high school relationships, to say hey, I need a little bit of space. It has nothing to do with you. I just need a little bit of me time. That can be hard. It can be taken the wrong way. It can be that way in friendships, like with Ashlyn and Gina. It's that way with relationships with, or Ashlyn and Gina, and then Nini and Ricky and their relationship. I loved Seb kept saying friendship. And I was like, this boy, he's becoming quickly one of my favorite characters in this entire show, just because he is so hysterical and he just says stuff like that. And he's just so innocent and cute, and I love him. So friendship. Every time he said friendship, what do we have that they don't have? Friendship, which is so funny. And it's like, it's the show poking fun at itself, which I love. I love that. Okay, Team Wonder studies. When Gina and EJ were going up, I love that we keep getting more of them together. And I really hope that that continues. And I don't know if you guys watched the like sneak peeks for the next week's episode after you finish, but I definitely do. And I watched it, and the cover photo for that episode is it looks like morning announcements with EJ and Gina. And I was like, I see what you guys are doing here. I absolutely see what you're doing here. And I love it. I also think, and this is something that maybe we can have a conversation about later, I love mockumentary shows. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I love shows like The Office, Parks and Rec. I think they're hilarious. The observational humor aspect of it is amazing. And I really think that this episode and this season, I've said a couple times, are really focusing on like narrowing that down and really dedicating themselves to it. And I think even though there's the moments where it's like, it doesn't make sense that like Miss Jen and Ricky's dad on their date, which was adorable, would have like a camera crew following them around. That does not make much sense. And it's not from like a restricted angle where like the camera person is obviously trying to like watch them in a place where they're not necessarily welcome. But it's the way that how do I explain this? So in the scene where it cuts away from the actual story and they're talking about Ricky having the idea for Nina to be the rose and Nene being, I said Nina, oh my goodness, Nene saying, oh my gosh, guys, I can't speak today. Nene saying, no, I thought that was Miss Jen's idea, whatever. She's showing off the rose. The way that the camera was just switching between the two of them, I was just like, this is perfect. It's just slightly awkward enough, slightly too lingering of a shot that is intentional, that is so good. And I also saw it in the scene. There's a time where Gina is explaining why she didn't leave right away, which we'll get to that little like cliffhanger from last week in a little bit. But there's a scene where she's just like, she looks and like goes to the side. So like it was if I was looking here, like someone was filming me from this angle, but the camera is here. So it's almost like she's addressing someone behind the camera, which just makes it feel so much more realistic than if she was looking like deadpan into the camera, which they obviously do sometimes. But like there's times when they look over to the side, which is something The Office did way more than High School Musical, the musical does. And so that to me makes it like way more realistic. And I don't know. I just really love that. Okay, hold on. I just got locked out of my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then I also, Brooklyn, I just saw your comment about the cliffhanger. Carlos better not post it. Yeah. Sorry, I will get to everyone's comments in a second, but I'm just switching back and forth. My brain is all over the place today. But yeah, no, he better not post that. That could cause problems for Ricky and Nene. But also at the same time, that's kind of what I wanted to get into is like the nuance of the episode. Like they need to get past that. They need to just be like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Like that sort of thing. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. I loved all the Harry Potter references with Courtney and Howie, which is like part of the reason just her alone making that comment of like, don't insult me, I'm not Hufflepuff, because I am also a Ravenclaw, if you guys did not know. And so connecting with Courtney in that way of us both being Ravenclaws and both not wanting to be called a Hufflepuff, which is the most Ravenclaw thing ever. I loved that. That alone was like, Courtney, we get each other. We're one and the same girl. And then last, Nene is like knocking over the glass, just kind of being the crazy girl, just like trying to focus, not paying attention. That honestly, even though she wrote the beautiful song, she had the beautiful moment, and a lot of the episode followed her, those are the reasons why she was my Wildcat of the Week, is because I was that way in high school. I am that way now. I just connected with her and trying to be around her friends and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then I guess we're doing this out of order, right? Let's just go ahead. My rating of the episode is 5 out of 5, which causes a lot of problems because these episodes have been great. The last two episodes have both been 5 out of 5s for me. So now I'm like, okay, there's like 6 more episodes left at this point. And I know there's going to be a great like musical performance episode at the Menkeys, right? Or like an award ceremony episode. I don't know. I might have to go back and re-rank these because we're already a 5 out of 5 halfway through the season, and I don't see them slowing down. They're fixing every problem that I can pop into my head by the end of the episode at this point. So I'm kind of like, I don't really know how to like avoid this. So anyways, so 5 out of 5, which means my scream moments are not actually like frustrating moments or things I have a problem with in the episode. So now we're introducing a new category of like actually bad stuff in addition to the scream moments, which are like good moments, like they're well written, but they're supposed to make us mad. So I see a lot of you guys mentioning Lily. Brooklyn, Lily got on my nerves. Lily got on my nerves too. She's annoying. Tula agreed. Yes, Lily. Nobody likes Lily. She's a good for nothing busybody, nosy pants, trying to get in everyone's business. And she is maybe the schemiest character I've ever seen in a TV show. Yeah, and so she's definitely frustrating. So she's definitely on the screen, but obviously she's written to be someone we don't like, similar to if you guys watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know those are kind of different vibes, both on Disney Plus though, but John Walker is an excellent character, just nobody likes him. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between being a well-written character and being a character that you dislike, right? Yeah. So you could dislike a character for being exactly who they're supposed to be and not because they're poorly written or just being like, oh, I just find them annoying. You know what I mean? Okay, so my other screen moments were Ashlyn and Gina's tension was written really well. And I love, initially one of my critiques was going to be that I felt like we were used last episode with the cliffhanger being Gina is moving away. What? Then she's there. And she's explaining that her mom has an opportunity in Louisiana and blah, 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 blah. So to me, like, I kind of felt like that was sort of annoying. Like, I was like, okay, that's a cop-out. They're not addressing this, and I don't know why they're not addressing it, but they're not, and that's kind of frustrating. But between all of the conversation of her and Ashlyn over the course of the episode, I really liked that. Like, I thought it was really well done. I think they really got to have their problems out. Ashlyn was like, hey, I'm moody. I have a boyfriend. We aren't always together. And Gina's like, I'm moody. I'm out of my comfort zone. Like, I'm living with you. I'm not living with my mom. And now I have the opportunity to leave this really uncomfortable situation for me. And I kind of want to take it. But by the end of the episode, decides not to because of Ashlyn's beautiful rendition of Home, which was just amazing. And then obviously the North High Insta video. Like, that just from the get-go, like, we're supposed to be frustrated about that, okay? Like, that is so annoying. And I know we all know people in our lives who always, it feels like they're posting things to like get on our nerves. Okay, and maybe that's a little narcissistic of me, but you know, there's people out there like that. Lily is one of them in this show. Yeah. Okay, and so then my actually bad. I already addressed the Gina thing, but that was fixed for me. Again, that was fixed. And then okay, this isn't actually bad. This isn't actually bad. Like, it's not, it's something that was intentional in the show, but I think it might be a me problem. In 2 episodes, this one and the one where Courtney sings Beauty and the Beast in the pizza shop, in the back of the pizza shop, the audio has been really bad at certain points of the song. And if you guys are having the same problem, please let me know, because last week I thought it was me and my computer with the darkness of this season. Like, it seems way darker than other seasons in the like shading of it. Like, it looks like it's dark around the edges, almost like it has a vignette, like the episode has a vignette on it. And so this audio thing, at first I thought, okay, I never have these problems on my iPad, so it might be my computer. But then I realized when I watch it on my iPad, they're not having these like ballad type songs. It's usually like a group musical number or something like that. So I don't know if it's that these songs were recorded in different conditions because of the pandemic and if filming requirements and all that kind of stuff, or what it was. But I just seriously don't know what's going on, and I need to just probably get my earbuds and listen to it over Apple Music or Spotify or something so that I can hear what these characters are singing and saying and don't have the audio issues. But if anyone else is having those audio issues, or if it is just me, just let me know, just because. But overall, my rating is 5.5. I seriously think this season keeps getting better and better. I know I had someone say in my comments that they really prefer season 1 to season 2, where I understand where they're coming from. Or even though I understand where they're coming from, I happen to disagree, just because I feel like this season is really dealing with the nuances of what it's like to be a teenager, growing up in places, having things change. I think a lot of the stuff with Ricky's dad and Miss Jen is super nuanced. I think a lot of the relationship issues that Ricky and Nina are having I like that it's not this overstated drama thing, but that it's carried across multiple episodes to feel like these are just the kind of things that happen like over time, over the course of school. And like I just feel like this show really has captured like what I felt when I was going through high school. And so that's what I really like about it. Okay, that's enough of me talking. Right at 15 minutes. Good job, me. Okay, let's get to some of your guys' comments. If there's something I didn't touch on or something you want to talk more about, probably gonna only be on this live for like 30-45 minutes, just because it is Father's Day, but I do want to hear y'all's thoughts. So let's see. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, Walt, loved the episode so much. I agree. It felt like everyone was being pushed to their limits, and it was so cool to see that. I agree. And this is what I like. I like when shows like this, so it has like the premise of being a musical. They're like a drama club, and they're trying to do these exercises. Miss Jen wants them to have this workshop. And then they actually end up workshopping their characters, but it's not within that like setting. They're just actually doing it. And I love that. I think that is so unique, or not unique, but I think it's so well done in this show specifically. And I love when shows do it overall. Hello to Eric. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Aiden, I really loved it. I thought it was one of the best, yes, if not the best episode so far, and had a lot of emotion in the episode. I agree. I liked last week's episode, and it was a 5-star for a totally different reason. This episode was 5-star. This episode, the characters were pretty incredible, and I loved what they were being able to do with them. But in last week's episode, it was just really fun, and I liked all the aspects going on with the fun stuff there. So that's what I really liked. Okay. Alex, Jack is so nice. Yes. Thank you guys so much. If you guys don't know, Jack and I do Loki Lives every Wednesday evening where we talk about the episode that we kind of, hit my mic there. Break down the episode and that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you guys are not subscribed to him, he puts out a lot of similar content than I do. He's a lot more dedicated to certain things. I do a little bit more TV stuff. He does a lot more movie stuff. He also covers music. Logic, one of his favorite rappers, just came back with some stuff. So he's been doing a lot of coverage for that. So definitely go subscribe to him if you're not. Get him to 700, please. He deserves it. Brooklyn, the episode was insane. I know. I really am surprised how much is being packed in these episodes. Not that I think worse of season 1 episodes now, but I feel like these are so much more detailed, even though they feel like they're doing so much more, which is crazy. Like they're not just focusing on one character in an episode, but they're diving really deep with each character and each issue that comes up. Guys, also Tula started a YouTube channel. She mentioned that I commented on her YouTube channel. Yes, I'm subscribed to Tula. If any of you guys are starting on YouTube, I know how hard it can be to kind of start and get going. So I would love to come and watch your content. So yeah, guys, go subscribe to Tula. Go subscribe to anyone. If you guys have channels, I do not mind if you leave them in the live chat. Don't leave them in the actual comments down below because I think you can get flagged for that. But yeah, if you guys have a channel, just say like, oh, I have a channel, and people can click on your videos and stuff. Okay, Brooklyn says Seb is my favorite. I know. He's such a good character. He's so entertaining. He's so just wholesome. You know, I feel like that word gets overused, like pure, wholesome, blah, 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 blah. But like, I keep saying blah, blah, blah. That's my word of the day. Blah, 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 blah. Seb is just so actually wholesome of a character. He's well written. I just really enjoy him, and I liked him a lot. Alex, High School Musical, the musical, has a lot of rise in talent. Yes. Olivia Rodrigo is just insane. And what's even crazier to me is like now she's breaking on the scene because of obviously the popularity of this show and then her own like solo music and that sort of thing. But she was on Bizarre before this. She's in a couple episodes of New Girl. She plays a fan of Nick's book. Julius Pepperwood. He writes a book, I think, about Julius Pepperwood. It's like a zombie book. I don't know. It's like a whole plot line in that show. If you guys are old enough and want to watch that show, it's a great show. But yeah, she was in that too. So she's been in the business for a long time. But like the amount of talent, and I don't know if you guys feel this the same way. I feel like I don't have a ton of talent in a ton of areas, but there are some people. Like I feel like I could be good at like one thing, right? Like I'm a pretty decent writer. I can draw pretty okay. But like some people just have so much talent, like it literally in their pinky finger. They have more talent than other people will have in their entire lives. And that just is like crazy to me. Good for them. And I love Olivia Rodrigo. And yeah, I'm obsessed with her and her album and her aesthetic and who she seems to be as a person. She seems to be great. So yeah. Okay, Brooklyn, Lily got on my nerves. Yeah. Lily was on everyone's nerves. I think that's how she's supposed to be written. I think she is truly like what Sharpay was intended to be, but Sharpay was too likable of a character at the end of the day. So you see what I mean? Like, she's like, Sharpay is the bad guy, but like, she's likable. Lily is the bad guy, but she's unlikable. See what I'm saying? Her song was great. Yes. Yes, the Rose song was great. I haven't done much research, so you guys can tell me. I'm pretty sure she wrote that. I know she wrote, I think, All I Want for last season. That was like, she actually wrote those. And that's what I love about this show specifically, is everyone is so talented, but they don't just say like, here is your part, here is your song to sing, like, you do it. They're like, we want you involved in the creative process. And I think that's what's making this show feel so much more holistic and more nuanced, is like they're actually getting the kids' opinion. Kids, I shouldn't say kids, like some of them are my age, but like just getting their like input creatively. I love the Rose song. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I don't know if I like it more than her song from the last season, but yeah, but I really like it a lot. Yeah, we got some comments about Carlos in the video at the end. I'm really hoping he doesn't post it, but this show does seem to have a track record of like using Instagram and when things are posted on Instagram as like a piece of drama, because obviously that's a big part of a teenager's life is social media. So yeah, I really hope he doesn't do that. Zachy and Lily are the John Walker of this show. Yes, Anton. I think that's how you say his name. He does seem so adorable. He seems like the foreign exchange student that becomes friends with someone, and he just is like, oh, they're friendly to me, so like I'll be friends with them, but doesn't realize like what he's actually getting himself into. And Lily has definitely like spotted him out. Like, he doesn't know her reputation. She's just like, come on, you're one of us now. Like you're gonna go along for the ride with us. But yeah, no, he's pretty pure. But I totally agree. Zach and Lily are definitely the John Walker. They have those like sort of likable qualities in some aspects, or you could see where they could be a good person, but like obviously this show is not from their perspective. So yeah, kind of total jerks. I love John Walker. I love the rage and acting he has. It's the same range as his father. Oh yeah. Him and Kurt Russell are both pretty incredible, and I totally agree. I think that's actually a really good comparison. I'm sure someone else has made that comparison before, but I've never thought about it that way, of Ego and John Walker as both Russells, but also both being characters that are supposed to, like, they're connected in a good way, but they end up those are the kind of people that they seem good on paper, but in actuality, like their ideas or their like perspective on life is not something you necessarily agree with. Have I seen The Society? I have not. I have not seen The Society. What do I edit my thumbnails on? Okay, so I do my thumbnails with my iPad. I have an app called Procreate. At the time I got it, which was back in 2017, Procreate, the app, cost about $10. I think it's probably the same, but that's what I edit my thumbnails. So I make a thumbnail that's 2048 by 1152. I think that's double what the recommended thing is. Like, I think it's 1024 by 700 something, I think, is like the actual thumbnail size, but I just double it, so because it will shrink down to the same proportions, but it'll be more pixelated. So instead of taking a lesser dense pixel thumbnail and blowing it up or keeping it at that size, I make a bigger one and it just kind of shrinks it down, but everything stays fine. So that's why I have the like very handwritten drawing look to my thumbnails, is because I do it all on Procreate. It's a great app. I highly recommend it if you have an iPad Pro, if you're into art at all. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it just for thumbnails, just because I know there's other programs that you can either probably get for cheaper, for free even potentially. I used to use a couple different apps on my phone. Like, there was an app called Fonto that I would add if you go back to my really old things. But for me, since I just have Procreate, I use it. If you guys know about Canva, it's a free website. I call it Photoshop for Dummies because I do not know how to use Photoshop, but to me it's just one of the easiest sites to use to manipulate photos and stuff. And you can you can import your own photos, kind of resize things, use templates that they have. And I'm pretty sure they already have like a dimension option for like YouTube thumbnails. So that's super nice as well. So I use Procreate to answer the question. It's a long answer, but I would recommend, if you're not in the market to buy something like that or don't think you'll use it enough, definitely something like Canva would be great because it's super easy to use. And once you kind of get the hang of it, you can do more and more creative things with it. I liked how the characters were all slightly on edge. I did too. I like the pushing of the characters this season. I really like, I mean, we've already seen it kind of with EJ, but I really, really, really like the direction that we're going with Ricky. And I know a couple people have said, not really Ricky's biggest fan, but I think this show is showing us that, like, we're not really just here to make you like all the characters. We're here to help you see how these characters are growing. And I made the comparison before, which maybe is good, maybe is not, about Ricky kind of following Troy's arc from the second High School Musical movie. So in the second High School Musical movie, Troy kind of loses touch with who he is, his friends. He gets caught up in being the basketball golfer star, with getting attention from Sharpay. I feel like Ricky is kind of just lost because he's so focused on the fact that he's got the girl that he's just like focused on her, when he should be growing his own things in addition to being in a relationship with Nini. And I think that's a really interesting direction. I just am curious to see where they're going to go with it. Or even your live thumbnails. How about your editing software? Okay, so live thumbnails, I do the same way. I just go into, actually I should probably make a video about it, but I guess I can do a short little version right here. So this is my iPad, this is my baby. Let's see. Oops, I got my Apple Pencil right here. You have to buy these separately, unfortunately. But the new ones like stick to the case. Mine's just an older one. So we'll make a thumbnail right now. This will be fun. This is quirky and fun, right, guys? Okay, so I go down and I click, I made it before, so you can click your setting, 2048 by 1152. This is kind of what it looks like. And then I shrink it down. And what I will do is I can just go on here and I'll probably like insert a photo. Like if I take a thumbnail photo, I just film and screenshot it, because that way I can do like 5 different ones instead of posing for one picture and then blinking or something like that. So let's take my last week's thumbnail. So I put it in here. Okay, cool. There's me with my bangs. I don't know how to style them. Then I go in and I use just one of the brushes. One of the brushes in here, and do my little like light outline just to give it some pop, whatever, that sort of thing. And then I will usually do everything on a separate layer. This is a huge key for drawing, for making thumbnails, whatever, do stuff on different layers. And then I will just do like, write whatever I want to write, color it in, and then it can kind of move it around. And then once I have it done once, you just copy and paste it and move it around to different ones. For editing, I use Final Cut Pro 10. I got it because I was like, I'm going into this field. I want to be able to edit really good videos. It's the best for Mac users. And I'm a big Mac gal, Apple gal. So I got Final Cut Pro 10. I have heard there are free versions online. I don't know where to get them. And I'm not saying I recommend you to get those, because it could be virusware, spyware, or something else, or you could get in trouble. But I'm just saying that is an option. And yeah, I like Final Cut. I feel like it's very intuitive. It is basically the big brother of iMovie. So if you have a Mac computer or iPhone or something, use iMovie, because if you don't like the way iMovie is set up, you probably will not like the way Final Cut is, because it's just a more complicated version. So I would recommend iMovie because you can get it for free, I think, on like your iPhone or iPod Touch or iPad or something like that for free. And then Final Cut is kind of expensive. If you're a student, get the student bundle, because it ends up being the same price for about 5 programs that if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you may want other ones, like to record the outside audio for my videos. I use Logic, which I got in that same bundle, but it's a cheaper price than if you just bought Final Cut. So it's cheaper than just Final Cut, but it's 5 different things, but you can only get it while you're a student, but it lasts forever. So I highly, highly recommend doing that route. There is also Adobe Premiere Pro, which I don't like. I know a lot of people feel very strongly about it, but I do not personally like it. So that is up to you. I definitely recommend using free trials before you buy something, because I kind of got Final Cut Pro after I'd done enough research on what other people used. But I was obviously ready to make that investment, but that's a lot of money. A lot of money. It's like $300 or something to do if you're not going to learn it correctly, or if you don't like it that much, and then you might have to buy something else on top of it. So that's what I use. Lily is a character we all love to hate. Yes, there always needs to be one. There always needs to be a character like that. And yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, this is very, very accurate. I heard she wrote it in an hour. That's incredible. That's incredible, especially because the joke is like, I wonder if that's why the episode was written that way, of like she's taking forever to write it. I mean, I know it was supposed to play up the like Ricky is calling her constantly, but that's insane. She is insanely talented, and I love her. Yusuf asks, is this show good? Still don't watch it. I mean, I very clearly think it's good. Other people in the comments can vouch for that. I think a lot of people here really like it. I think it's really good because one, it's if you grew up with High School Musical, it's very nostalgic. But if you like stuff like The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all those kind of shows, I think this is more of like a younger version of it, but not younger in a less developed way. So it's like a very developed, very well written show, very well acted, very well performed in all aspects, but it's definitely like, yeah, it's definitely a little different than those shows, but yeah, I think it's really good. What is your favorite Pixar and DreamWorks movie for both? And they released some of the OGs for animated classics. Okay, so I don't know what the second part of your question is, Alex, but the first part, Pixar, my favorite Pixar movie, it's like impossible. I would say Toy Story 2 is one of my favorites. Monsters Inc. I also really love Monsters University, but I guess Monsters Inc. more than that. And then Inside Out is probably, Inside Out and Coco are two of my favorite, like, 2010s Pixar. I don't know. Pixar, I've never really talked about this much on my channel. I'm a huge Pixar fan. I have almost every single art of book from Pixar, so all of the concept art. I used to really want to go into animation. I would still love to work in it to some degree, but I really love Pixar. And if you know enough about the history of Pixar, you know that Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was an executive at Disney during the formation of Pixar, the making of the first Toy Story film, he is a kind of vilified figure in Pixar and Disney history, but he went on to team up with Steven Spielberg to create DreamWorks. That's why there's an SKG. I always forget the last guy's name. I think it's like Geffen or something, but that stands for Spielberg, Katzenberg, and somebody else. So it's a little bit of trivia for you. But so I'm not a huge DreamWorks fan, but The Prince of Egypt, that movie is masterpiece. That movie is a masterpiece. It is 2D animation, which is obviously a rare form in and of itself nowadays, but that movie is incredible, and I really love the animation style, and I love that movie. Other DreamWorks movies, I would say, obviously How to Train Your Dragon is pretty classic, but I'm not as into that series. I've actually never finished it. So I think there's the third movie that I've never seen, but yeah, I did go through a good How to Train Your Dragon kick. And then, yeah. So they released some of the OGs for animated classics. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, Alex, with that. Let me see if you replied. No. Okay. But yeah, no, I definitely, animated classics, if you're talking Disney animated classics, Beauty and the Beast all the way, 100%. Maybe that's why I'm loving this season of HSMTMTS so much. But yeah. Okay, what they do with Ricky as a character is very interesting, very surprising. I agree. I think this is a very bold choice for a Disney Channel-esque show. I hate calling it a younger show because we all love, like, I would watch an episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Wizard of Waverly Place, Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, any day of the week. Any day it was on TV, I would watch it. But I don't know if back in the day they would have made these same choices to make the main character, arguably the main character, as maybe unlikable this season as he is, because I think what they're doing is very complex with his character. I really like it, and I'm very impressed with the series for doing it, but yeah, it is very surprising and unusual. Have I reached 4,000? No. And to be honest with you guys, this is part of the reason I like live streams so much, is this counts towards my public watch hours. So all of you that are watching right now, all 10 of you I can see in my little thing, I appreciate all of you so much because this really helps my public watch hours. And that's kind of why I'm interested in doing some more live streams, but no, I'm not there yet. I'm about halfway there. And you have to do it within a calendar year. So I think most of my watch time is from this year anyways. So I guess I have till like April-ish of next year to kind of hit that mark. But obviously I would love to hit it a little bit sooner. But yeah, it's really hard. I definitely think it is harder than unless you've been on YouTube for so long and had a couple viral videos, like my like Venom video has like 26,000 something views, right? If I'd been on YouTube for a couple years and had like 5 or 6 of those videos, I could probably easily be at the watch time requirement. but maybe not at the 1,000 hour or 4,000 hours. But yeah, I think definitely hitting 1,000 subscribers is a little bit easier than watch time. Elizabeth Olsen says Doctor Strange the Multiverse will be a big horror element and describes the horror, the scariest parts of the Temple of Doom. Sam Raimi is probably going to make it scarier. So, okay, so I had heard this. I definitely heard the whole like horror thing, but I've also have heard that is being rethought completely because Sam Raimi was not. Is Raimi even the director anymore? You guys let me know. I'm not sure, but I thought I heard a rumor that like they'd kind of redone the script, the cast, the director and stuff. I probably am not going to be able to get the information here. So if you guys know, but yeah, I definitely think it's going to be horror elements regardless of it's truly a horror movie or not. But yeah, I'm very excited to see that movie. I think it's going to be, I have a lot of trust in it. Initially, when I heard MCU's first horror movie, I was like, not sure. But seeing what they've done with WandaVision, with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki, they're really wanting these individual installments in the MCU to be very focused on having their own kind of like niche thing, being a sitcom, being a television show, all that kind of stuff. So definitely interested to see where that goes. The scene with Bruce, Jen, and Ricky is very hard, good acting. I agree. I think that is something I did not think they would do. And someone said in my comments, again, I got to give people credit. I don't know who said it, so I can't give full credit, but I can, if you're here, let me know. Call me out for it. But someone said last week when I was talking about how there's like kind of a love rhombus of Miss Jen, Ricky's dad, Mr. Mazzara, and this Zach guy, that they were like, she's going to end up with Mr. Mazzara. She's not going to be with Zach. She's not going to be with Mr. Bowen. And I love that we got to see their date, but then get closure of like, that's too hard for Ricky. And this just shows how much Miss Jen cares about the kids, because she's like, I'm not going to do that to him. It's not right for him. But yeah, I think that scene is great. I think we're really getting to see, I like that we're getting a more serious side of Miss Jen, because you could argue in the first season that she's kind of played as the joke, as like the kids love her, but like she's not really a serious teacher. This season, she is really bringing it. So I totally agree. Have I seen Luca? I haven't yet. So the only reason I haven't is I wasn't supposed to be available to see it this weekend, but now I am. But I haven't watched it yet. There's a lot of mixed feelings about it. And I'm trying to stay away. I don't really care too much about spoilers for it because it's not really a spoiler-filled movie to me. But I'm interested, and I will definitely come on a live stream and probably talk about it there. Probably won't do a dedicated video to it, but I will probably obviously talk about it at some point. I love Pixar, like I said previously, so I obviously want to see it to put it in my rankings list. Maybe I'll do a Pixar ranking video. Who knows? If you guys would like to see that, like this live stream, so that I know. But yeah, I don't have any thoughts about it currently, other than I've seen a lot of people have very valid mixed opinions about it. And it's definitely bringing up an interesting conversation of Pixar has really been the top dog of animation probably until like 2015-ish. And the past couple movies have not been the top pick, like the top movie that they've put out. Whereas for years, they were just outdoing themselves. And there's a lot of interesting dialogue going on right now in specifically film Twitter about people feeling like Pixar's losing their touch, or them saying like Pixar has given us so many great movies. It's okay if not all of their movies are perfect. Yeah, so that's very interesting. I also think it's interesting that some of their top creative executives kind of work parallel for both Disney and Pixar now, because Disney owns Pixar, but Pixar works pretty independently of Disney, but some of their creative executives overlap quite a bit. So that's interesting to see. I think Disney animation is on the rise and Pixar is a little stagnant right now. So it'll be interesting to see in a couple years when the next couple movies, like I really, really want to see Encanto when that comes out. And I think that might be something that's totally original, blows everyone's socks off, and they'll forget about any maybe bad opinion they had about Luca or the last couple movies. But then, I don't know, it still looks stunningly beautiful, and they tried out a new animation style, and I don't know. Hey, they can do what they want, right? These are Marvel hardcore. I've said this before, and I never mean to like offend anyone or get anyone frustrated, but I don't like DC characters. I like Superman. I think he's interesting. I've read a couple of his comics, and I connect to that story a little bit more. I like it more. But I don't like the first Wonder Woman, incredible. The first 45 minutes of Wonder Woman 1984, incredible. Very campy, love it. DC characters, they're just too brooding, but they never commit to it. Like something like Suicide Squad. It wants to be dark and kind of scandalous in the way that Guardians of the Galaxy is just family friendly, stupid humor. Don't mean that stupid as in it's not an intelligent movie, but stupid as in like kind of dumb. But yeah, I don't really connect with the DC characters. Marvel has just always kind of been my thing, and I can appreciate DC for what it is, but I also think they don't stick to directors, Zack Snyder, who know where these characters should be going, who make interesting stories with the characters, and they go back with other people that I don't really care for or make bad choices, I think. Anyways, that's a conversation for another day, but Marvel, 100%, till the day I die, will be a Marvel fan. Hi, Reagan. How are you? Guys, Reagan also has a great channel. He does really great movie reviews. I watch his In the Heights, and I thought it was really funny, Reagan, because I kind of felt the same way about In the Heights in certain aspects. So go watch his review for that. I love the new episode. Episode 5 is still my favorite. Yeah, this is where I'm like a little torn. Episode 5 was the most fun, the most lighthearted. I love the whole quinceañero aspect. I love Sebastian and Carlos in that episode. But this episode is just, I don't know. They've just been on an upward climb, and then I probably will hit a plateau at the middle of the season, or oh my gosh, the second middle half of the season. I'm not making sense. Episodes like 7 or 8 or 8, 9, 10 might be a little like stagnant. Then the finale is gonna be great. I just have so much trust in them. You, Steph, I'm so glad you asked what my favorite teen drama series is, and the reason I'm excited is okay. So let me tell you guys a little story. So the other day, I wanted to watch a movie, and I was just trying to watch a movie that was available and just pick one quickly. I saw 11 Monsters, which I'd heard Sophie Foster, another movie YouTuber that's great, talk about how she was pleasantly surprised with the movie. So I was like, sure, I'll watch this. I ended up loving it. It's kind of this weird amalgamation of Zombieland, if you've seen that, with How to Train Your Dragon, weirdly enough, with Palm Springs, which was a movie I loved last year. It was just kind of weird and different and special, and it has Dylan O'Brien as the star. So obviously, I really liked it. But then this kind of kicked back in my love of Dylan O'Brien that I had, I don't know, back in the early 2010s, right? When I was like severely obsessed with him, thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, just loved him, right? And I'd always wanted to watch Teen Wolf because I was a fan of the Vampire Diaries, and Teen Wolf is kind of that same like supernatural teen drama, blah, blah, blah. I said it again, I need to stop saying that. But I'd always wanted to watch it, but it didn't have Amazon Prime, so I couldn't watch it. And that's the only thing it was available on, except for Netflix International. Didn't have that VPN thing. So anyways, just kind of forgot about it. The other day after I watched this movie, I'm like, I need to watch more Dylan O'Brien movies. So I'm looking up what he's in. I remember he's in Teen Wolf. And I look it up just to see if it's on anything, because streaming stuff rotates so often. And it was on Hulu, which I happen to have. So I am currently on episode 8 of the first season of Teen Wolf. Styles Tolinsky might be one of my favorite characters ever. He is anxious and super intelligent and super chaotic, and I love him. And so right now, my answer would be Teen Wolf. Growing up, whatever. I'm not an old person yet, but I'm not like a true adult. I ignore the fact that I'm legally an adult. Yeah, I like to live in this fun kid space. But teen drama series, I did really love Vampire Diaries. I was a Stefan fan a lot. I don't know, I just kind of fell off of that show for some reason. And then teen drama series. I mean, Euphoria would categorize as a teen drama series. I think that show is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. But I don't know. That show's got its things where I can't really fully recommend it, because I know the tone of that show and High School Musical, the series, is very different. So I don't want to be recommending stuff to you guys that is not good for you to watch. But I think Euphoria is beautiful. It's just a very mature show, very R-rated type situation. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, Teen Wolf currently. Teen Wolf. What is my favorite guilty pleasure? Ooh, I have several, but mostly from the early 2000s. Cat in the Hat, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, Stuart Little, and Amanda Bynes. Okay, so if we're talking like guilty pleasure is like reality TV. Like I know reality TV there's a lot of hardworking people in reality TV, and so I don't want to underappreciate their work, but I know reality TV really does nothing but takes my mind off of my own problems and is kind of trashy at times, but I do love it. I love to sit down with a snack and watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Keeping Up with the Kardashians was a binge watching show for me during finals week. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the more Keeping Up I would watch, the better I did on my exams. So I think it just de-stressed me enough to focus when I was studying and then calm down. I'm not saying I recommend that. Study for your tests, guys, but true guilty pleasure movies, The Proposal and Crazy Stupid Love, but I don't feel guilty about watching either of those. I really love a good rom-com. Like I really love a good rom-com, and I don't think people make good rom-coms anymore. And so I love, like I will watch those movies any day of the week. The Proposal was one of those I was like, I'm buying it, and I watched it like 3 times one Valentine's Day, if I can speak correctly. I just watched it like 3 times in a row. I love that movie. But like a true guilty pleasure movie, I mean, I love the Hangover series, but again, don't feel guilty about liking that. Yeah, I don't know if I have like a true guilty pleasure. I have been watching Jake Long American Dragon just in my spare time, which I guess would kind of be like an old school guilty pleasure, sort of. Maybe that counts. But it's the animation style and the story is cute. So anyways, okay, I'm really behind. Let's catch up. Totally agree on Ricky. He didn't make mistakes, hurt other people with his attitude. We can understand why. Yes. He needs an outlet, which clearly this episode we figure out is probably his mom. He can't go to Nene about all his problems because that's just going to emotionally weigh her down. He can't really go to his dad about these kind of things. Miss Jen seems like the obvious choice of who to go to. And then Gina, who would maybe understand what he's going through. He and her, obviously. Which I like that they finally addressed that she has a crush on him, because I really wasn't sure what they're trying to do there. And I totally get what she's saying about the plane going down, and you say things that you don't think you're ever going to have to, like, own up to, and then you do. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I said that. Okay. Guys, Ziella, I cannot pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. But, yes, this is who the credit goes to for all of the love rhombus and her ending up with Mr. Mazzara. 100%. Thank you for your comments, by the way. Every week, you post the most longest, in-depth comments. You've been doing it since episode 1 review, and I love reading them. So seriously, thank you so much. I so look forward to them every week. What happens if you don't get the 4,000? So then it will just go back to, so say like January 1st, right? You're at, say December 31st, you are at 3,900 hours. So you need 100 hours left. Well, if come January 1st, you gained 900 watch hours, just for easy math, then it will just go back down to 3,000 watch hours on that January 1st. So you won't have to start totally over. It will just subtract whatever watch time you had prior to that date. So like for me, for example, when the Loki reaction video dropped, let's say I got 100 watch hours. So when that day rolls back around next year, it will just subtract that from whatever total number of watch hours I have. And I'll just have to keep gaining that before I lose. Like I will just have to gain the extra hours before. Other people have explained it far better than me. And I am trying by the end of this summer to put out a video about 2 years on YouTube, my tips, my tricks, not even so much tips and tricks, but things to avoid or problems that I have learned from that you will probably make the same problems, but if you can learn from them. Kind of just a hard truths video. So if you guys want to see that like this so that I know again, I'll just take any of the likes to make any of the content that I am looking to make. Pixar is the best. Toy Story 3 is my favorite animated movie. I love Toy Story 3. I think Toy Story 3 is the perfect end to the trilogy. And I say trilogy very intentionally. I did not like Toy Story 4. Okay. We could talk about this later, but I do not like Toy Story 4. I ignore its existence whenever that I can because I'm not a fan. It is a beautiful movie. The animation and the techniques and the development of that movie from the very initial Toy Story in 20 or so years to see that change is incredible. Do not get me wrong about that. The achievements of animation in that film are incredible. The story of that movie, I do not like. Woody would never do those things. he wouldn't. And I just feel very strongly about that. And that, people, is, if I can leave you with any sort of message ever, is that you can think about movies however you want. If something happens in a movie that you don't like, you can ignore it. Like, at the end of the day, it's just movies, you know? Like, you're just having fun. You can get as serious as you want about it, but like Solo, another Star Wars movie I do not like, I just ignore that it exists, because to me, that is not anything that is true about Han Solo in my understanding of him. So hopefully that's not too controversial of an opinion to have, but whatever. If it is, it's my opinion, and you're all entitled to your own opinions. Recently, we watched WALL-E, and remember how emotional Pixar. Yes, Pixar is fantastic about writing stories that stick with you, that are really, really just emotionally devastating. And that's some of the things that I think, like, not that lighthearted animation can't be like just as fun or good of a movie, but I think when you're really tugging at those heartstrings or dealing with like deeper issues, you can really get emotional. But I think they have that talent to make you emotional even in fun, really lighthearted stuff. Sorry, I left. I'm in the car now. Wi-Fi sucks. Thanks for the plug. Absolutely, Reagan. Absolutely. No problem. Hope you're traveling safe wherever you're going. Jack, my man, what is up? I hope you're having a great day. I also hope you're not watching this from work and don't get in trouble or anything like that. Yeah, I need to send you a text and chat with you pretty soon. But yeah, hope your day is going amazing, Jack. Okay, Alex, I have to go now. Absolutely, totally understand. It's Father's Day. Thank you, Alex. I hope you and your dad have a great day. Thank you so much for the sweet words. I really appreciate it. You guys are genuinely so nice and kind, and I really appreciate talking to all of you guys. I'll probably be getting off soon too, so if you guys have like any comments or questions or anything, I'll probably cut off at the hour mark. So yeah, just because I got to go too eventually, but absolutely at work. Jack, you know what? I can't even be mad. I appreciate it. I really do. But don't get in trouble. You must watch 13 Reasons Why. Okay, so 13 Reasons Why came out when I was a junior in high school, the first season specifically, or like that's when it became popular. And that was when everyone was like, this show is going to influence teenagers to do things they shouldn't do. And honestly, that show, I have to be appreciative of it, because if that show didn't exist, then Euphoria or something like Euphoria probably would not exist, because I feel like they deal with similar themes. Euphoria just takes it a step further. And so I would want to watch it, but I know since it deals with such sensitive topics, I don't know. I just, like there's stuff that is sad that I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be sad. Like I want to watch it, but I don't know if I can do 13 Reasons Why. Do you guys who have similar issues with like really, really emotionally deep issues, if it's like in a TV show and it's too deep, do you think like you watch it or not? I say that and I watch Euphoria and that's the same thing. So maybe I should just watch it. But I don't know. I have so many shows to watch. So many. But thank you for the recommendation, Yusuf. I will add it to the list. And if I ever do watch it, I will talk about it. Come back to one of my live streams and I will let you know. I saw a kid at Walmart today. I was in the movie section and there's a kid said, Dad, we're Suicide Squad. I love that movie. I have to disagree with the kid, and I feel like Jack might too. But you know what? They can like the movie. Do you intend to see Eternals? Absolutely. 100%. This is a movie. I almost watched Nomadland the other day. Oh my goodness. I'm making too much noise. I almost watched Nomadland just because I want to see Nomadland before I see Eternals, but I didn't want to watch Nomadland. I'll be honest, I know my boyfriend would want to watch it, and so I was like, I can't watch this without him. So I just saved it. Plus, it's on Hulu, so I can watch it probably whenever I want. But yes, I intend to see Eternals probably as close to opening night, and I intend to see it in theaters. I don't know if that will be a premiere access. I assume Disney's going to do any sort of premiere access they can from here on out with movies, but that is definitely what I'm going to want to go see in the theaters, because I just think it's going to be stunning. Yeah, okay, so quickly, I will go into this. These are the things that I'm like, should I make a video essay on, or do I want to put that much work and effort into probably what will become one of my most disliked videos? You know what I'm saying? It's that balance, that line I try to tread. But yes, so I dislike Solo. So, okay, Harrison Ford as Han Solo is like my original celebrity crush. Like, I love Harrison Ford to this day, even though he's like 80 something. I love him. There's nothing more attractive to me than Han Solo in the very first couple, the original trilogy of Star Wars movies. I love him. I love the character, feel very emotionally attached to him. To me, the guy who plays Han Solo in Solo, it's like he doesn't understand who Han Solo is. He just watched Harrison Ford play Han Solo and is like trying to do his impression of that, as opposed to like being his own version of the character, which I would probably accept more because he'd be slightly different. And then my major issue with Solo, other than the fact that the plot is completely forgettable, everyone pretty much dies. I think, I don't know, I don't even remember. Don't get mad at me, guys, if I don't remember. I'm sorry, but it's one I will probably rewatch and do a reaction to on my channel, just because I think it is a controversial thing that would, maybe get people's attention. But to me, the biggest issue is I have a very firm belief that when Han and Leia say I love you in the end of Empire Strikes Back, and he says I know, the reason he has changed as a character is because he's fallen in love with her, and that's the first time he's ever in love. The entire plot of the Solo movie is that he's been in love before with this Emilia Clarke character. Yeah, this Emilia Clarke character, who I love Emilia Clarke, not trying to like crap on her or anything, but like the entire premise of that movie is that he's doing that for love, and then he becomes like a really like sullen, closed off person afterwards, which with another character that we didn't already understand so well, I might be on board with. But to me, Han has only ever loved one person, and that's Leia. And that has changed who he is as a character, because to me, a lot of who his character is just becomes he got broken up with, and so like he's bitter about it. Instead of like he is actually a loner, he actually like does not trust anyone because he's been screwed over in the past, sort of thing. Like he's on the run. The only person he trusts is Chewie. And then to me, that Solo the movie defeats his arc in the original trilogy. So that is why I dislike Solo. As a movie, was it entertaining? Yeah. Is it impressive visually? Yes. Do I like it though? No. And that's totally okay. That's one of your favorites, Reagan. Totally, that's validated. Like, I am not an expert. No one. Here's a real secret. Even Roger Ebert, the most well-known film critic in the world, even any of the people who talk about movies nowadays, even people who make movies, Martin Scorsese, one of the world's most like admired directors, he doesn't like Marvel movies. He refuses to watch any of them. So no individual person is going to have perfect opinion or taste, and no one's going to be able to tell you absolutely every single movie that's ever existed is good or bad and have their opinion be like objective truth. That's just not how it works. So totally, absolutely, it can be one of your favorites. It's just something. One of my best friends loves Solo, and we got in like a debate about it because I hate it. So it's totally a subjective thing. What's my rating? Okay, out of 10, I guess I give it 5 out of 5 stars, just on my 5-star. Out of 10, I think I would go like an 8 or a 9. I probably wouldn't do a 10 out of 10 just because that has more room, and I would shift everything else down. But I don't think any of these episodes, like a 5 movie to me is like, it was fine. Like I absolutely don't care about the movie. I will probably forget about it, but it's fine. A 5 out of 10, I mean. A 6 movie is a movie that I'm like, I enjoyed it, but I'm fine if I never see it again. A 5 is just kind of like, eh. And anything below that is just different levels of bad. But like for this, I would say an 8. I'm digressing way too much. You just became one of my favorite. Thank you, Yusuf. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. For me, it'd be a 6. I think Reagan is speaking about what this episode would be out of 10 for him. I definitely would rank it higher out of 10 just because of how my like scale is already like established in my head. But yeah, maybe 5 out of 5 is too small of a thing. On Toy Story 4, I can understand. I think Toy Story 3 is a perfect ending. But if you take the movie like Woody's story, I see the 4 like his ending. He found a new life because he cannot fulfill it. And I agree with this. I just think I think Andy giving Woody and the toys to Bonnie is the perfect passing along of like, these are my toys. And I do like the story. If this was completely separate from Toy Story, I would probably like it, of like the idea of like, I used to belong to a kid and he was my favorite in the world and I was his favorite toy, but now that I'm not his favorite, I don't want to be here anymore. But see, to me, like, I don't want to think Woody is now, he's got over all his problems with Buzz. He's saved the team. He feels like he has a family, and he feels like he's the one that decides to go to Bonnie. So then to me, for that to then be his decision to leave Bonnie just because Buzz is her favorite or Forky is her favorite. Yeah, that's what I don't really like about it. But I agree. I like, it's a well-written story. It's just not something that I want to I like to imagine that Woody and Buzz are still at Bonnie's. I think the other thing that adds to this is that there were so many short films that were made about them having a good time at Bonnie's. And obviously those were made to keep the characters alive, keep the franchise alive, and not to tie into the fourth movie. But if I'm going to take those as canon of like them enjoying their time at Bonnie's, and then all of a sudden he's like tired of living with Bonnie when it hasn't even seemed like it's been that many years, that's what I don't really like. The same role with Bonnie than he had with Andy in 4 is behind the other 3. Yeah, I get that. I'm just not a fan of it. Yes, I understand, Sasha. If I'm going to make a video as an unpopular video, I don't make that video because the algorithm will be, yeah, as everything should be. Yeah, I just feel like it's one of those things where I want to make the video because I think I have valid arguments and I think I could make a good video, but I'm like, are people going to even enjoy this? I don't know. It's definitely like something like Game of Thrones in defense of the 8th season of that show is something that like I think like I would make because it's not too controversial, especially since the show isn't fresh in everyone's mind. And maybe Solo would be the same case, or Toy Story 4. I don't think I would have enough to say about Toy Story 4 other than it's just not my cup of tea. But yeah, it's definitely like who you want to play with. You want to play with taking on commenters who don't agree with your opinion is one thing. Taking on the YouTube algorithm that's just going to like cut the video. And especially if you make it like a video essay format, it's going to be a lot of work to then not get much return on it, which obviously, like I've said before, it's not why you make videos, but you know, you like to see a little return on your investment of time. Josh, I'm sorry if I spoiled anything. If you're on the stream live, we're not going to really talk about High School Musical too much anymore. But yeah, go watch it when you get a chance. I think you'll enjoy it. Do I know about the Hype House? And if you do, what do you think about the winning show? Okay, so on YouTube, I watch people that I like. I don't really watch necessarily what is popular on YouTube. Hype House is definitely, I see it as a bunch of people my age, young adults, taking advantage of really little kids and their parents who want to like, you know, invest in their interests, ripping them off. That's what I see. So me to them getting a show, I will not be watching it. I do not care. I think if you want to watch great commentary on it though, Drew Gooden and Cody Ko consistently do videos about this kind of stuff, and they're so good, they're so funny, they're so well done, and that makes the idea of the show a little bit more palatable. But yeah, I guess my opinion on the show is just dumb people get reality shows because, you know, they are willing to do things for television that other people would not be willing to do. I have a huge question. Can you please watch Upside Down Magic? It's a Disney Channel original movie. I really love your review. You know, that would be actually a really interesting series of watching DCOMs that I haven't seen before, because if it came out between 2006 to like 2010, I probably saw it. Anything after that, I did not see, with the exception of like the first Descendants movie and Teen Beach 2 and Lemonade Mouth. But even those, like those could have come out in 2010. I wouldn't know. But yes. Okay. I'm not committing to doing it just because I don't want to commit to that, but I will try to check it out. And if I feel like I have thoughts on it, I will talk about it in a video. How does that sound? Does that sound like a compromise? Yep. Favorite Rini part of the new episode? Honestly, I think my favorite thing is when she calls him on the phone, because I don't know. I just remember being in high school, sometimes wanting to not take like a break, like a Ross and Rachel break, but like have a little bit of time to myself. But at the end of the day, if you're in a really good relationship, or I was lucky enough to be in a relationship in high school, and now that he's my best friend in the entire world. So like I would he's the first person I want to tell a lot of things to. So even if I'm like frustrated, I'm going to go to him. So that's what that scene reminded me of. I hope he does not hate me for saying that. Okay. Next question. Episode 6 of the flashback scene. Yes. Okay. The Rose song, great episode. 9 for the best Federer. Yeah, I liked the flashback scene. I liked the transition into the flashback scene a lot. But those are the things where like I have to say like the show is not truly like a mockumentary, because a mockumentary wouldn't do that. But Kindergarten Cop is a great movie, Reagan. I really like that movie. That movie is hilarious, Great tension, something that more people need to pay attention to. Brooklyn also loves Drew. Yeah. Drew, road work ahead. I sure hope it does. Yeah, those are things I say on a pretty regular basis. But like, yeah, Drew Gooden and Cody Ko are two, and then obviously I love like Noel Miller and stuff. But like, they're hilarious, hysterical. Any suggestions for movie YouTubers? I am subscribed to a ton, but I like to listen to other people's opinions and arguments. Yeah. So let me actually scroll through. So obviously, Jack. Will plug him anytime I can. Jack is the best. He's the most supportive person in the world. Really just wants other people. Chris from Filmstocked is a good friend of mine. Really recommend his channel. I think he does some great videos. He's been doing a deeper dive into stuff recently, which I really like. His latest videos on Inside, which is the Bo Burnham special, and Invincible, the Amazon animated show. So them. Jaron Talks Movies is a great guy, the nicest guy. Jennifer Vega, she has great opinions. She does a lot of horror stuff, and so I always have to watch her videos, just the audio, because I'm scared of horror stuff. But she really tackles it, and if you're into that. Brando Critic, great guy, great reviews. Film Geeks, Trevor over at Film Geeks is great. Ewan Reviews, he's the nicest. Like, pretty much anyone who I've been on Movie Drafts, which is Jack's series, are great. I really recommend them. After Credits, Josh over at After Credits, he has a great channel and he puts a lot of work into his videos and he deserves more. One of my favorites that I want to rope her into this little community that we have in the film community is Sabrina Johns. She does a lot of screenwriting vlogs, which I also want to go into screenwriting. She has been doing videos ranking Jane Austen movie adaptations and scenes or things that she loves about movies. She is fantastic. Please go subscribe to Sabrina Johns. That's her name. She's amazing. We're like Insta besties. I love her. She is seriously fantastic. Really recommend her. Honestly, I could go on and on and on about people to recommend. Hopefully I'll do something soon where I can get a community post out there and get some of my recommendations to you. But I'm still looking too. So if you guys have recommendations, let me know. Okay. Ricky definitely need to hear that Gina giving up on him if she wasn't moving. Yeah. I think I like the dynamic between Ricky and Gina. I just don't want them to be together because Ricky and Nina have a lot of time invested into them. So yeah. Josh, it's so unfair how people can work so hard on their videos and their videos get biased hate from the majority of whatever fan. Yes, I think there's another video I wanted to make. So I'll test it here. Stop saying that so-and-so fandom is toxic. Like, people talk about Star Wars a lot of the time, or the very male side of the MCU fandom. All fandoms have toxic sides to them, okay? All people are there's everything that it can be liked on the internet has someone who just has a mean-spirited attitude one day and it's gonna go be rude or toxic or whatever. So it's not that one fandom is specifically toxic. And also, you always have the free will to step away and just delete Twitter or something. I've done it before. But yeah, I agree. I think people just come and want to be mean on the internet, and I would not want to spend my time that way. But if they want to spend their time that way, then yeah, they can. Once I worked so hard on a ranking video, people hated it because they're apparently bad opinions. Yeah, people are the thing is Jack, for example. Jack just did a Pixar ranking video. He put Monsters University, which I love, very far to the bottom of his list. Now, I understand if that's his opinion, but I wouldn't say he has a bad opinion. I just say that's his opinion and it's different than mine. So yeah. And that's where I'm I want to do ranking videos, but yeah, one of my friends, Trevor, at Film Geeks, he did a ranking video of Disney live action. I totally disagreed with him, but people were kind of not being the nicest always in the comments. And it's just dude, people have different opinions. Just back off. Okay. High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 2 caught me off guard. I mean, I really expected them to High School Musical sequel. How is it even? Okay. So I think the first series is where the name comes from, obviously. But I think the point is that they don't just want it to be solely tied to the original trilogy. I think they did that so that they This is what studios do. They want to use stuff they already own, i.e. Disney using High School Musical, and repurpose it because they own the rights to it and it already has an established fan base, i.e. me, who literally watched High School Musical 2 premiere live on my living room couch. Like, waited for it, planned the day, sat down and watched it. So, like, I think they wanted to create a series to capitalize on the love of something that's already a pre-existing property that they own. But then they want to deviate away from it. But what's the easiest thing to deviate away from it? Other things they already own. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is one of the most popular like high school musicals to do, but actual Disney High School Musical like productions, because you have to buy like that binder that Miss Jen has. You have to buy like certain things to go along with it. It can be very expensive. So I guess it didn't catch me off guard just because I didn't necessarily see them doing High School Musical 2. I mean, I love the High School Musical series, don't get me wrong, but like I didn't really want to watch a TV show where each season they just like recreate the movie necessarily. But yeah. Do you think Rena happened this season or in season 3? If you're talking about Gina and Ricky, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think part of the point of this thing is to say like relationships don't always work out in high school. Just because you like someone doesn't mean it's going to work out properly, or deal with the nuance of like if you're in high school and the guy you like or the girl you like has a significant other, a boyfriend or girlfriend themselves, then you aren't like, I don't know, they just want to capitalize and use that specific instance. So I don't think it's ever going to happen. I kind of hope it doesn't happen because Ricky and Nene seem to be endgame for the series no matter what. And I just don't think they would go in that direction with the show. But I don't know. Who's to say? I have no idea. Yeah. I would kind of agree with this. I think it would be, don't know if any of you guys watched Jane the Virgin, but Jane the Virgin had a very, very classic, very, very obvious love triangle going on. And I love both Michael and Raphael. If you've watched the series, I'm not going to spoil anything that happens, but I will always be Team Michael because to me, that's how the show was set up being. And they played out the love triangle a little too long to where when certain things happen in the show, they lose some fans. I'm not going to say what way things go, but yeah. Series suggestions on Netflix. Okay. Let me think. TV shows I really like. I love How to Get Away with Murder. I love that show. I've just kind of fallen off watching it. Schitt's Creek is absolutely hilarious. One of the funniest shows I've ever seen. New Girl is on there. The Good Place. The Good Place is a great show. If you've not seen The Good Place, please watch it. It's only 4 seasons. They're all half-hour comedies, and I don't even think they're like 22 episodes. I think each season is 12. Please, please, please watch that show. I don't want it to be forgotten. It's a very short run, but yeah, that's a great show, and I can't think of any right now. Have I ever watched Gilmore Girls? I haven't. I've seen like an episode or two. I think it's one of those things where, I don't know. I love Milo Ventimiglia. He's the dad in This Is Us, and he plays, I think, is Rory the daughter, plays Rory's boyfriend in some of the seasons. I know it's on Netflix, and I have a lot of really close friends that watch it. I just am not, I don't know. I just can't get into it. I don't know. It's nothing to speak against the show. I know a lot of people love it, but I just don't think I'm one of them. I love Ray, honestly, and I personally hate the dislike she gets. However, just because you dislike her doesn't mean you're a sexist. Yeah, see, so this is a perfect critique. Like, I like Ray as a character in Star Wars, or like I like the character of Carol Danvers in the original Captain Marvel. But if you say any critique about these strong female leads, I feel like a lot of people will critically say, oh, I don't. You're sexist, or you're just saying that because she's a female character. It's like, no, there's faults in both the way that those characters have been portrayed. Namely, the fact that, if anything, the people who are writing them have not properly thought things through. So like Captain Marvel was written and directed by totally different people than the Russo brothers who directed her in Endgame. So like that's why the inconsistency in that character there. Or Rey was in a J.J. Abrams film in Rise of Skywalker, then was in a Rian Johnson film in Last Jedi, and then is back with J.J. Abrams. So like there's, yeah, I totally agree with you, Josh. I totally agree. This is where I think ranking things or like having opinions on the internet, I mean, you got to have a tough skin about it, but yeah. Ooh, great question. And I think we'll end it here, guys. We'll end it here because my throat is getting a little hoarse. I need some water and I need to go because it is still Father's Day. But do you prefer Ricky and Nene, or Troyella, Troy and Gabriella? I think I would have to say, I think I prefer Ricky and Nene, and here's why. Again, this has been a controversial chat, more so than I ever thought it would be, but I guess we'll end it here. I think the reason is Troy and Gabriella, even though they're always gonna have a special place in our heart, okay? They, to me, have a lot of really kind of dumb reasons why they break up or aren't together or things like that. And the nuance with Ricky and Nene is very similar to things I experienced personally in high school. And I just think it deals a lot more closely to what actual high school is like, as opposed to High School Musical did with Troy and Gabriella. And so yeah. So that is my opinion. I'm going to take Ricky and Nene on that one. Yeah, controversial, I guess, but, you know. And The Good Place is amazing. Totally agree. It's fantastic. Please go watch it. This stream has been great. Thank you so much. And yes, guys, I'm sorry I don't do much notice on these streams, and I do them for a little short time. I hope and intend someday to do a much longer stream on a more official day where I can really just sit here and answer questions until literally no one is watching. But for now, I just pop on when I've got the chance and when I've got time. So thank you guys, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. You guys have said some great comments. I really appreciate you dropping by. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe if you haven't. Most of you guys, I see you every week whenever I drop a video. I really appreciate it. It's also, I'm thinking, and you guys will be the first to hear it, I'm thinking of starting to do my Loki streams, my reviews as live streams, just because I get to talk to you guys more. And I don't know, maybe it's not as good of an idea, but yeah, I think maybe this might be the future of how reviews are done on my channel. I don't know. I like to do the official sit down ones, but it's so much more fun to get to talk to you guys. Okay. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope you have an amazing Sunday. Happy Father's Day again. And I will see you guys soon. Next time I'll try to give you a little bit more warning about when I'm doing a stream, but I can't promise anything because I just try to do them whenever. Have a great day. Have a great Sunday, guys. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.